Hi, it's Joe. How are you guys doing tonight? I've changed my perspective a little bit tonight just so I can enjoy this beautiful door. Maybe you can't see the whole thing, but I celebrated it in one of my earlier videos and I really love it. Um, I'm here tonight to talk about faith. I know faith is a big word, and I am very skeptical and quite agnostic for someone with as much faith as I have. And that's what I'm here to talk about. I really want you to understand how you can develop faith and how you can get such a new concept of faith in your life, how you can develop it from one thing to the next. I want to talk with my hands right now. So, one, faith in yourself. This doesn't involve deities, it doesn't involve anything, it just involves I believe in myself. I believe that I can do what I set my mind to. It's self confidence, it's basics of having an identity as a person, that's strong. It's self love. It's a whole lot of that self help, self confidence, self acceptance stuff. You can even start using affirmations at this point, like I'm confident. I always get my work done on time. I always have tons of clients demanding my attention. I always do a great job at everything I attempt. I never make mistakes. Everything I do is a learning experience for what comes next. So there's lots of affirmations and things you can do just to tell yourself that you're great. Step one, you are great. Have faith in yourself. Then, two, have faith in yourself as a spiritual being. You do kind of have to start acknowledging the existence of spirit at this point. And I hope you've had some kind of spiritual event in your life, some kind of spiritual awakening. If you haven't, you've probably clicked away from my video by now. Um, or perhaps, um, if you haven't had a full spiritual awakening, you could be like me in the sense that you've experienced things you don't understand that could be spirit. They could be explained by, I don't know, uh, weather balloons or hallucinations or, you know, things that you want to be true, coincidences that you think are divine, but might just be coincidences. Or, like in my case, I saw visions, I saw visual effects. As anyone who's tried psychedelic drugs will understand, the concept of visuals. And yeah, to have those from spiritual encounters, from intimate encounters, is quite amazing. It certainly reminds us that we don't need drugs, and that all the drugs that we'd ever want to fly high on, the good part of every drug, without the bad parts that cause all the pain and suffering. But the good part of it is in your head. All the drugs do is turn it on. Well, you can turn it on, and you don't need the drugs. So, let's recap real fast. I'm going to zoom out again. I love this. I love playing with the camera. One, faith in yourself. You are strong and awesome and have great skills and attributes in your life and dedication and persistence and all these things. You are awesome, self confidence. Two, confidence in yourself as a spiritual being. Now, this can be partial. This can be, I think that thing that happened was a spiritual awakening. I think that thing that happened was beyond this physical plane, but I don't know for sure. But it might be, and I'm going to pursue it. I think that's a great way for someone as skeptical and agnostic as me, and perhaps you, to really dig into it and dig into spirit. I use the word agnostic very differently from the word atheist. Some people put them in the same box, but they're not. As an agnostic, I am skeptical about things. I say, that could be true. Let's find out. Let's see if we can prove it. When I look at religion, I don't say, I say, that might be true. I can't prove it, so I can't walk around saying, this is definitely true, it has to be true. You can prove certain things, like gravity. When you drop something, it falls. You can prove gravity. scientists are still figuring out how it works, but you know it's a thing. I mean, you know what happens, right? In that sense, we can try out spiritual things and see if they work. We can try out spiritual things, try to make a scientific guess at how they work, but kind of leave that aside. What's more important is just say, is this real? Is this something that works? You know, for me, I find I don't have to say this is true or this is false. I don't have to make a judgment. As an agnostic, I really just try to stay out of judgment. That's really what it's about. I won't take sides in the science versus religion debate because I honestly don't think either side it has to be wrong. And I think when you bring the two together in a good way, it makes some really beautiful things happen. So, one, faith in yourself. Two, agnostic, flexible faith in yourself. Excuse me, as a spiritual being. So, what that means is, can you follow your intuition? Can you follow guidance from dreams? Can you follow your inner angels? Can you follow your inner compass? Those types of things. Early on in my journey of faith, you could say, I found that the word inner compass worked really well for me because I felt like I had a compass within me that told me when things were, good for me, when things weren't, certain paths to take. And I didn't feel threatened by that, like, ooh, it's some kind of spooky thing that is going to tell me how to live my life and judge me and send me to heaven and hell and all that. So, I hope that you guys will find words and symbols and language that works for you to start having faith in yourself as a spiritual being. It doesn't have to be deep spiritual stuff. It could just be like psychological, like my subconscious. I get in touch with my subconscious and I trust what it tells me. It's really about trust and faith. First, just in yourself and in your physical attributes, your mental attributes, like I said, persistence, confidence, all that stuff. After that, faith in yourself as a spiritual being, which I'm doing pretty good with. I'm moving along with that one. The third one, and don't get me wrong, keep working on one, keep working on two. They don't like go away. It's just 3 different steps that you can get your way into. But once you got one, work on 2, but keep going on 1. Once you've got 2 down, start working on 3, but don't forget about 1 and 2. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, when you get to 3, have faith in what you don't understand. Have faith that the entire world, the universe, everything is spirit in form. Everything in the world is love. Everything in the world is God, including you and me. You are God, I am God. We're not separate from God. If you look at the Bible, for those of you who like Christianity, you'll see that Jesus says he's the Son of God, and so are you. I have these spiritual powers and abilities, and I have all these things, and so are you. He said, if you have even just the tiniest amount of faith, you can do amazing things. What he's trying to say is, listen, you might worship me, you might think I'm great, but seriously, you could do this too. That's what he was saying. And many other teachers. I am certainly not Christian-centric, though having been raised Christian in a Christian culture, I do have a lot of Christian parables boinking around on the side of my head, and I use those because I know many people in the English-speaking world also share that culture. But don't get me wrong, I'm actually much more comfortable, with the Sufis or the Buddhists or other religions that I don't have attachments to, as I do Christianity. So, what I'm trying to say here is number 3. What can you do to start having faith in the whole entire universe of God and spirit manifested as everything from physical matter to thoughts all the universal intelligence that's going around. There's an omniscience, an all-knowing that we attribute to God, which when we acknowledge ourselves as God beings, we have to say, oh, we have an infinite intelligence. We know exactly the right thing to do right now. I know exactly the right thing to say with the right tone, with the right pacing, with everything, without having to think of it. I know exactly how to communicate my message of love and wisdom to you, right? And in everything we do and in every moment, we know the very best. We have infinite wisdom at our command, you know? Um, People say God is everywhere. Well, yeah, in us, in here, the concept of God being someone far away on a cloud in the sky. No, that's not it. It's not that we're separate from God. Picturing ourselves as poor, miserable sinners, and God is just no. It just separates us from God. You are God. I am God. Each in our own special way, and we create the worlds that we live in. So, do me a favor and have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself as a spiritual being. And then 3, have faith in the entire world, in the entire universe as God, in yourself and all the people around you as God. That you're in your perfect and right place, that everybody in the world is too, at every moment. And to see it, it's perfect, whether or not we see it. But we have minds that can see those things. And we can train our minds to see the God in everybody, including ourselves. So have faith that the God in all of us, is there, out there in the world, and that we can trust it to take us exactly where we need to go, and that where we are right now is exactly where we need to be. See what you can do with that one, and leave me a comment. Let me know how it works for you. It's an ongoing journey for me, all 3 of these steps, and I'd love to hear what you have to say, because I'll bet you have something to teach me. Also, remember StarlightTantra.com, as well as this YouTube or Google Plus, or however you're seeing me here. Feel free to leave comments and questions. If you have something you'd like me to address in a future video, please let me know. I'd love to interact with you in all these different ways. Have a wonderful night.